pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a moment of silence, please. Roll call, Meg.
Council President Sturts.
Here.
Councilor KOST.
Here.
Councilor Shamp.
Here.
Councilor Chamberlain.
Present.
Councilor Sturts.
Here.
Councilor FREY.
Here.
All members are present. We have a quorum. Thank you.
We have approval of the prior meetings minutes.
So moved. Second.
Motion moved by Council President Sturts and second by Councilor FREY. Council President Sturts?
Yes.
Councilor FREY?
Yes.
Councilor Sturts?
Yes.
Councilor Chamberlain?
Yes.
Councilor Shamp?
Yes.
Councilor KOST?
Yes.
6 yeas, 0 nays, motion carries.
So far, nobody coming in to address council today. Committee reports, we have street committee.
Yes, Street Committee, thank you, Mayor. We met on May 16 at 4:30. Present was myself, Scott Steertz and Rick Fry. Also present was Police Chief Torbett. Chief Torbett wanted the committee to consider slowing down some traffic in the area on the intersection of Glenwood and Oak. If council members remember, there's sort of an odd intersection and Chief Torbett was hoping to maybe reduce the safety risks there by closing down a avenue of traffic between the hours of 7A and 8A and 2:30P to 3:30P. A barricade would be set up that would be put up and taken down by the crossing guards. The barricades would be similar to those barricades used during the football games. The alternative to trying to address the safety issue there at that intersection would be street lights. And those would be quite costly at an estimated amount of $150,000 if you were to do street lights and crosswalks. So maybe this would be a cheaper alternative to making things a little safer at that intersection. So the committee members considered and brought forth a recommendation tonight to allow Chief Torbett to pursue the idea, educate the public between now and the beginning of the next school year in anticipation of that change. Chief, if there's anything you'd like to add?
No, I don't know if we need an actual motion from council. It's just, I wanted to make sure the street committee was on board with it. Because this is a temporary closure, the police department can close streets temporarily. I just wanted to make sure the council was on board and didn't have any objections to that during the school year.
This will be added traffic then on probably Oakwood and Elmwood from cars pulling over to
Probably.
Oak. Then.
Hopefully if we get people educated soon enough and get the word out that they will stay on Oak and not go down the side streets, but there will be a few more cars on Elmwood and Oakwood.
Right. And I like the idea a lot because I think that is quite a congested corner there too when that was planned. One question when this was brought up is if we do have more cars up on Chute making that right-hand turn, will that stop traffic from wanting to make the right-hand turn coming northbound to go down Oak on the 2 traffic lights? Will that be blocking that?
It shouldn't make that much of a difference because we have the timers, the sensors in the pavement, so.
That was the only question that was brought up there. The $150,000 for a light, that's something.
We had talked to,
With the schools
Bob
possible?
we had talked to him back when the school was built about the possibility of putting a light in, and that was the estimate that he gave at that time. Because of the odd configuration, it can't be just 2 lights, it has to be a series, like 4 to 5 different traffic signals, as well as the sensors and the different crosswalks, so it was a little bit cost prohibitive at the time.
Could that be something possibly the schools would look into, maybe a joint?
We tried to get
cost?
that in part of the school building fund, but it wasn't accepted by the state, so it's on us at this point.
They're really good at
trying to work together now with some grant funding.
We've been looking. I had David look for the last couple of years. and so
Nothing
far,
there yet, huh?
Nothing yet.
Say across the school.
Yeah.
But that was, even that one, I don't think it would fly because we don't have enough kids
Right.
down there.
Okay, good work, thank you. So you don't need an action from council on this, so just go ahead on the report.
I move that we accept the report and the recommendation of the Streets Committee.
I second.
Motion moved by Counselor Shamp and second by Counselor Chamberlain. Is there any more discussion? Counselor Shamp?
Yes.
Counselor Chamberlain?
Yes.
Counselor Coast?
Yes.
Council President Sturts?
Yes.
Counselor Sturts?
Yes.
Counselor Fry?
Yes.
6 yeas, 0 nays, motion carries.
And we have a report from Downtown Revitalization Committee, Heather?
Yes, we had, Bill Drummer met with the Pride Preservation Committee and presented to them the ideas and the actual pictures of the benches and the waste receptacles that we are in the process of getting through downtown revitalization. Right? No, David, that's not right. Okay, we're working with David anyhow. David's leading this charge, but, so we have picked out benches, waste receptacles, and we actually have some planters that we have picked out too, but that's in a different phase that we are gonna be putting downtown. We've worked with Dave Murray, the group Walk the Downtown, and we are gonna be talking to business owners. The planters have already been taken out from downtown. So the next step is going to be, David, you did order the benches.
We will be ordering them tomorrow.
We will be ordering the benches tomorrow.
And trash receptacles, 20 each right now.
The Pride Preservation approved the actual bench and receptacles, so we will be ordering those tomorrow. They take 5 to 7 weeks to come in.
That's what they're projecting. yes.
Okay, so we're hoping to have those in within the 5-week time frame. We will work with Dave in Public Works to see when it would be best to take the others out and put the new in. Obviously, we don't want to interfere with homecoming. And I know Dave in Public Works, those guys are, this is their busy season, so we have to work with them to see when we can get those in after they arrive. The planters, some people have asked where the old planters are located. They're at the Public Works building. And when we do take the benches and the waste receptacles out, we're planning on putting them either along Homecoming, the Park and Homecoming Trail, or the bike path. So we're going to try to recycle and reuse as many of those as we can.
You're talking the benches and the planters, or just the benches?
Well, probably just the benches for now, but we're going to hold on to the planters. Yeah. Anybody have any questions about that?
Good, thank you. Let's move on to department head reports. Dave?
I'll just add to what Heather was just speaking of. With the 20 benches and 20 trash receptacles, we requested the quote online. They came back with a quote, and then I asked for a discount because of the numbers that we were ordering. They didn't automatically give a discount, but they did re-quote it. And that quote came in to just a little over $40,000 for those items. Most of that will be paid for through the 2014 Community Development Block Grant allocation and the county's RLF. That was money leverage for the downtown competitive application. When we get into the ADA work and crosswalks, those items will be paid for with remaining county RLF and city RLF and other monies that were appropriated for those activities. Working through applications with the Downtown Revitalization Grant, we have more than enough applications that have been submitted to use up all the money. I have treated it as a first-come, first-served basis, processing applications, but some applications are taking longer than others, so just depending on how fast they move through the process is what will get funded. So want to make that clear to the public and to city council. So no questions will arise. People are thinking that just because they turned it in first, they're going to get funded first, because some people are running into snags with the Ohio History Connection, looks at those activities too, and if they don't fall into certain criteria, if there's more information that they need, it holds them up in the process. So just jumping through those hoops as they present themselves.
And well aware about the ending date too.
Yes. Which is closely, it's coming up very fast.
Thank you.
The next couple of weeks, most of the month of June, we'll be concentrating on our public education efforts on Safety City. And also getting prepared for the fireworks, which are the 4th of July, Monday night. Fundraising's been going well for that this year, and been working well with the Parks Department supervisor and the Rec Association and getting that set up, and it's been going well. And then we're also, the fire department, we are also doing a fireworks show on the 16th of July for Archibald this year. So if you happen to miss ours, come on over to Archibald and watch that show.
Well, kudos to you guys. They've been doing a great job standing out there and collecting. It's been really good. Today they did really well down.
Well, to add to that, on Safety City, it started this morning. We have 60 and 70 kids registered. That is actually a pretty good number, considering that there's a low number of kindergarten students registered. I think we've got almost 70% of all the kids registered for Safety City. Due to Karen Ballmer's health issues, we've got Tina Blanchon teaching it, as well as Kristen Weimer helping out to take some of the stress off of Karen this next month. But she is a trooper. She wants to be involved in it, so she's doing as much as she can with it. Also, at staff, I was telling you that I wasn't sure if the Youth Police Academy was going to be able to be going on with all the other summer activities. However, since then, we now have 11 people registered, and I've only got 4 openings left. But we are opening it up to people outside of the Wauseon School District, so if there's anyone between the ages of 13 and 18 that would like to participate, they've got till Friday to get their application in. Just contact our office and we'll process that as soon as we can. And on a personal note, I want to thank Mayor Huner and Mayor Shaw, as well as the council, for allowing me to serve as the Ohio Association of Chiefs of Police president for this past year. June 1st, I became the immediate past president, and now I don't have to be traveling to Columbus as much. And I really have to give kudos to my staff for being able to pick up the pieces while I was gone. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Most of our major construction projects are winding down. Project on Glenwood, I think there may be 2 more units going up on that. The doctor's office I'm shooting. Nearing completion. As a note, the Big B Coffee will have their grand opening tomorrow. They had a soft opening today and bombarded offices around the city with some test drinks. So they passed us upstairs, I think, didn't they? Chief Fire Department liked the drink.
Yes, I were here.
And that's about it.
Dennis? Been busy.
Yeah, just a little. You may have noticed there's a brand new spruce tree out in front of the municipal building. The old one was failing health. We got that replaced. On Linfoot Street, the sub-base, the stabilization, that all finally passed. The contractor has spread stone over the portions that we're waiting to pass and dug out for the curbs. The curb work is starting to go in. This is both exciting and nearing the most frustrating part of the project, because you're going to see things getting done towards completion with that anticipation. But it's also a time when the concrete work is being done, it will restrict the residents more for coming and going and, not driving on wet concrete. So we're making all the allowances we can for that, but this is the time of inconvenience, and this is just the way it is. Public Works Department has also been flushing hydrants. They're just about done. They've been doing that approximately the last 2 weeks. They've had a couple main breaks during that period of time as well. I've been undergoing final review of the pool plans. Hopefully we can get that out to the agencies for their approval, the Health Department and the Wood County Building Standards. And our learning law director, on my desk this morning was the packet of final job descriptions, hopefully final job descriptions for review one more time. So looking forward to getting that behind us.
Hope so.
Yes, question?
Yeah.
You go ahead.
You brought up about water. One of the questions was about Napoleon water issues that they're having. I
Oh,
wanted
the
you
river
to-
water.
Yeah, I wanted to reassure
Okay, sure,
Wauseon
sure.
residents that we're not flushing.
Yes, it's newsworthy that there's a harmful algal bloom going on in the Maumee River up towards Defiance. We got word of that actually before the public announcement through the water treatment plants, and we immediately changed our valves and our reservoirs such that Napoleon and us are just drawing off the reservoirs. We certainly don't want to pump bad water into the reservoirs, and that's why we have this arrangement. So hopefully the weekend rains will hasten the passage of the algal bloom downstream from Napoleon, and we'll get back to the normal course of business. But we're not pumping that water into the reservoirs.
Thank you.
Dennis, I'm sorry. May I ask Dennis?
No, I just wanted to apologize for interrupting his report.
No, that's all right. That's fine.
Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Any developments on the Parks and Rec director, or is that on standby until those job classifications are?
Not exactly on standby. We did the advertising from within for that with no applicants. The next step is to advertise without, and before I do that, I need to get the test put together and civil services approval. So that's where we're at in that process.
Thank you.
We're trying to get that clarification on the civil service stuff. Don't you have to go back through the clarification on that? You just have to get the test prepared for that. Okay. Anything else for Dennis? He's a busy guy. Jamie?
I have prepared the May month-end reports for you via email, as well as the income tax revenue report. Month-end, we're still up 5% from last year, even though the month was not better than last year. If you took a look at that. So that's all I have to report tonight, unless you have any questions.
Just two things to mention, I guess, working with Rick on developing some contracts for the EMS fire services to the outerlying jurisdictions. Going to try to update those from 19.
I did forget to mention that.
91.
We did send the information we're working out to those townships. Yes.
So original packages were sent to the townships, and we'll use this time as they're starting to think about that for us, the law department, to draft a prototype.
They should have received all that last week, and most of them were probably just having their first meetings either this week or next. So.
And then also focusing closely on this, the two elements of the job description stuff, which is essentially job descriptions and classifications and compensation plan. So there's a classification plan and the compensation plan. And I'm hoping by this time or a little later next week to be in a position to ask the relevant committee to meet to review what we've got put together. And then we'll also be having, the police department will, folks, since we have a collective bargaining agreement with some of the employees, we'll ask them to look at the proposed job descriptions for those positions. Then, of course, we'll be reaching out to civil service to have them review those position descriptions that are applicable to civil service. So I'm hoping that we'll have the book, when you folks see it, is, extremely thick, and it's been a laborious process to get all those descriptions and revisions in together. And so, but hopefully I'm optimistic that we can get that book in a finished state by sometime next week.
Clemens and Nelson is the vendor? Or
Yes, the
okay.
consultant.
And so I'm sure they're sensitive to the changes within the Fair Labor Act. That's
They've been sending us information on that.
Yeah. Yep, so
Thank you.
that's it.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, I know Council President Steers has inquired before. I was wondering if anybody's working on compiling maybe a price quote for a sidewalk along Leggett Street to the school. You had asked about that before. I was wondering if it's not being done, if somebody could compile a price quote just for budget consideration in 2017 to get the sidewalk to connect the school.
Actually, we had been talking about that.
I mean, if you want to do it all at once, it's gonna raise the price, and it's gonna have to go to competitive bidding because it'll be over $50,000. If we do it in sections, we can allocate some money and keep it under the threshold, because our current prices for the sidewalk projects are just under $6 a square foot. So you figure that'll be a 5-foot walk, so roughly $30 per running foot. It's a little pricey to get from.
Yeah, I just don't know how many foot that is.
Developing out there
Yeah.
too,
The
which,
school kids were walking through the grass
Right.
in the school
Right.
here.
Well, yeah, because the schools stopped
doing the.
busing them
Right.
uptown for their little field trips, now they have to walk.
Now they gotta walk in the grass.
Well, maybe if finance could see an actual number when it starts putting together the 2017 budget, maybe it'd be something nice to know.
We can do that.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yeah, adding on to that, that's a project that has been ongoing because there's so many different entities. I mean, that's property on the north side there, or do you continue on the south side, or continues sidewalks on the north side? And they're going to be developing over there. Do they put in the sidewalks? You have the developer put in the sidewalks. Do we put in the sidewalks, or you try to grant it in? There's so many different avenues you can look to try to finish that out over there. And if you do you put it in that whole corner, or do you just do the one side? Or there's just so many different ways. Plus, you have the church
You don't know when
involved
they're
there
gonna
too.
develop them either. I mean, that could be 10 years down the road.
Well, exactly. That's been the whole issue with that whole corner. Or do you do the north side and come over, and then you have the church, and you have the whole hills and this
We've
stuff
got a
that's
ditch here
been.
too, so.
It's been a lot of discussion back and forth, so I agree. It definitely needs to be something done. Okay. Anything else? Let's move into legislation. We have nothing under first reading, so we're going to move into the second reading. Resolution 2016-8, authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with Bruce Ernst Asphalt for application of cold mix process to designated parking areas at Dorothy Biddle Park.
Does anybody know when they want to start that? They contacted somebody.
We're gonna probably be later in the season,
So we don't.
probably
have-
after baseball season.
So we don't have to rush that?
No.
Okay, that's all.
Second reading.
Second.
Motion moved by Councilor Chamberlain and second by Councilor KOST. Is there any discussion? Councilor Chamberlain?
Yes.
Councilor KOST?
Yes.
Council President Sturts?
Yes.
Councilor Shamp?
Yes.
Councilor Sturts?
Yes.
Councilor FREY?
Yes.
6 yeas, 0 nays, Resolution 2016-8 passes on second reading.
Resolution 2016-9, authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with Wauseon Excavating for the excavation of certain designated parking areas at Dorothy Biddle Park.
So moved.
Second.
Motion moved by Councilor Sturts and second by Councilor FREY. Is there any discussion? Counselor Sturts?
Yes.
Counselor Frye?
Yes.
Counselor Chamberlain?
Yes.
Counselor Shamp?
Yes.
Counselor Coast?
Yes.
Council President Sturts?
Yes.
6 yeas, 0 nays, Resolution 2016-9 passes on second reading.
Ordinance 2016-6, amending codified ordinance chapter 1117, establishment of districts and maps and amending the official zoning map.
Second reading.
Second?
Motion moved by Council President Sturts and second by Councilor Chamberlain. Is there any discussion? Council President Sturts?
Yes.
Councilor Chamberlain?
Yes.
Councilor Coast?
Yes.
Councilor Shamp?
Yes.
Councilor Sturts?
Yes.
Councilor Frye?
Yes.
6 yeas, 0 nays, ordinance 2016-6 passes on second reading.
Third reading of legislation, resolution 2016-6, authorizing the mayor to advertise for bids for construction of the new pool, authorizing the mayor to accept the lowest and the best bid, authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with the lowest and best bidder.
Third reading.
Second.
Motion moved by Councilor Frye and second by Councilor Coast. Is there any discussion? Councilor Frye?
Yes.
Councilor Coast?
Yes.
Council President Sturts?
Yes.
Councilor Shamp?
Yes.
Councilor Chamberlain?
Yes.
Councilor Sturts? 6 yeas, 0 nays, Resolution 2016-6 passes on third reading and will be in effect in 30 days.
Do we have anything under new business tonight? Okay. We have a motion for approval of the bills?
So moved.
Second.
Motion moved by Councilor Shamp and second by Councilor Coast. Councilor Shamp?
Yes.
Councilor Coast?
Yes.
Council President Sturts?
Yes.
Councilor Chamberlain?
Yes.
Councilor Sturts?
Yes.
Councilor Frye?
Yes.
6 yeas, 0 nays, motion carries.
And a motion for adjournment, please.
So moved.
Second.
Motion moved by Councilor Coast and second by Council President Sturts for adjournment. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.